Welcome back to another Minecraft video. Today we'll be doing another tutorial video. Now this time we are doing redstone circuits, so things like Tflip Flops and pulse shorteners and gates and all those kind of things. So I think we'll start with the Tflip Flop because this is a very simple one. Now this Tflip Flop works with an input to this dropper here. And it's facing up, and basically it loops around like that, and when at the moment it's giving an output because there's a item in here. Now when you power it, it gets moved up to here, then when you power it again it gets moved across and goes down. So if you want to hit the button, you'll see it will go off, and then if you hit it again it goes on. So it's a really small one, semi-silent because it's got the click noise but it hasn't got any piston noise. Now I will show you how to build this simple Tflip Flop right now. Yeah, so to build this first circuit, the Tflip Flop, all you'll need is some droppers, a hopper, a comparator, and an item of choice. I'm just using some sandstone. Okay, so you come along, you place a dropper facing straight up, another one facing across that's above that one, and then you place one more that's facing into the upwards one. Then you place a hopper on top and you can just pop an item in. Now all you need now is the comparator, and then your input can run into here, and whenever you give an input it will swap back and forward. So that's really simple. So this next circuit is an RS NOR latch. Now I don't know where that name comes from, but basically what it does is one button turns it on, so you have two input spots, so one's into this block and one's into this block. Now when you power this one, turns this output off, and when you power this one it turns it on. So this is the on one. Now unlike the Tflip Flop, you can keep pressing this and it will stay on and it won't swap back to off. And oh, okay, you want to press it? Yeah, so currently it's off, and no matter how many times you press it, it will never turn on. But then if you press the one over here, it will turn on. And so that's kind of useful. A lot of the time I just use a Tflip Flop because you can kind of do that. But this is helpful in some situations. I've used it in the past. I'll show you how to build it, but I don't really need to. So to build this RS NOR latch, all you need is some blocks, some redstone dust, and some redstone torches. So you'll just need to get your blocks, place them so 2 blocks in both directions away. So there's one block diagonally in between. Then you place redstone dust like that, and you can place a torch, and that's one side, and then you can do that and put a redstone torch, and then that's the other side. And then you can have your 2 inputs and you can put it in any orientation however you want. So that's also very, very simple. Okay, so this next thing is a pulse extender. This is probably known by almost all of you. This is a very common little circuit using 2 comparators and a bit of redstone dust. Now you can replace one of the redstone dusts that gets inputted into using a comparator with a block to double the pulse length, I believe. So I believe it's double because then you only lose it on one side, only lose redstone power. So if you press it, you'll see the button will turn off, but the pulse will still stay on for a bit. Now, if you use a block like this, it stays on a bit longer. So that's off, and you see it stays on quite a bit longer. So that's how you can expand the pulse, keeping it the same compact, or if anything, more compact. But I'll show you how to build that, although you probably all know. So to build this simple comparator pulse extender, all you'll need are some comparators and some redstone dust. Now one thing I would like to mention with this is you can make it bigger by adding more comparators. Now the way the thing works is comparators keep the same pulse, like signal strength, that comes into them, and they have 1 tick of delay. So the only place you lose like signal strength is at the end. So you lose one signal strength at this end, and then when you reach this end, you lose another signal strength. Now, obviously, as I said, you can put in a block to make you only lose signal strength at one end. So then every 8 ticks, or 8 redstone ticks, which is 8/10 of a second, you lose 1 signal strength with this. But I'm just gonna build a simple one like this. There it is, it's done, and then you just input it into one of the redstone dust and take it out from one of the redstone dust as well. Okay, so this next one is a pulse shortener. It does the opposite of that one, and it converts a longer pulse into just a quick pulse. So if you gave a constant pulse, it would just give a quick one right at the start of your constant pulse. You do actually need to input into this for a block, so like so. I'll show you how to build that now. So to build this pulse shortener, all you'll need is a dropper, a block and an item. I'm just using the block as the item as well, a comparator and a hopper. So all you need to do is have your dropper, have your hopper feeding back into the dropper, put your item in, and then you need a block because you can't input directly into the dropper, otherwise it will also lock the hopper since the dropper is a solid block. And then you can just have your input go into this block I'm standing on. And then have your comparator right here, which will take the output. And you can see the sandstones in there. Okay, so this next one is like a clock, and the special thing about this clock is it can be used for very, very big gaps between each pulse, and also you can adjust it. So if I come in here, I could take more items out, and if I had 2 items, it would keep going back and forth quite quickly. When if I had it you can have a maximum of 5 stacks of items. If you had that, it would take a very long time between each one. One thing I don't like about this, do you want to turn it on, is it's pretty much always giving a pulse through both of them. Now, it's not always doing it. Can you not? No, it needs to be off. There, good. So the best way to deal with that is if you have a redstone torch, then every once in a while it just gives a quick pulse, and it's not very long. Now, if I take these out, I can't really show this very easily. So you saw it just gave a quick pulse. And yeah, so that's probably the best way to use it, using a redstone torch. And I'll show you how to build it. I don't know why you're flicking this back and forward. So to make this really good adjustable redstone clock, all you need is some blocks, some redstone dust, some comparators, some sticky pistons, a redstone block, and some hoppers. And then obviously some items of choice to go in the hoppers. So you get your blocks like that, and then your comparators like that, and then 2 blocks of gap right in between, which is where your hoppers go. So you'll need to have the hoppers feeding into each other, so it should look like this. So you'll see they feed into each other and not down or in any other direction. Now you can put however many items you want in there, and you'll see at the moment it's just going back and forward, and flashing and keeping them both on, which isn't good. But we're going to put in some sticky pistons with a redstone block, and no, we don't put one there, and then they'll go into one, and then as soon as that one fills, that will mean that there's none in here, turning this off, allowing this to retract, and that's constantly getting pushed so it extends. Now, you probably, if you want like a quick pulse, you'll want to use the redstone torch, as I mentioned already, like while I was showing you this, because that's probably what you want. You probably want like an output every blah blah. You probably don't want it like constantly giving an output and then for like half a second turning off and then turning back on again for ages, because that's not too good. Okay, so this next thing is called an AND gate, which means this has to be giving a pulse and this has to be giving a pulse for an output to come out. So currently neither of these levers are switched on. If I switch one on, it still doesn't give an output, but if you switch both on, no, you need them both on, not one on and one off. No, there we go. Now you'll see there's an output. So if you can use this in certain machines, like, okay, so you need this to have happened, like this to be happening, and also this to be happening, and then this can happen, or whatever. So that's kind of useful. I don't use it too often, but in some situations it can be very helpful. So for this AND gate, which is really simple, all you'll need is a redstone dust, 3 redstone torches, and 3 blocks. So you just need your blocks like that, right in a line, really simple. Torches on the 2 end ones, and then another torch there. Now you put your redstone dust in the middle and input into there and into there. And that's it. Really simple, and then you can like have wire coming out of here. So this is a very simple one. Probably like the simplest here, other than maybe this. So that's a good one to use if you ever need it. Okay, so this here is a instant repeater. Now I know there's repeaters in Minecraft and there are a lot smaller than these, but they can have a minimum of 1 tick of delay, which is 1/10 of a second if you didn't know. But an instant repeater is instant. So yeah, do you want to press it? You'll see exactly the same time they switch on, and then exactly the same time they switch off. And so this is very good if you need like a long line of things and you want it all synced. This is a thing you might break by doing this. Okay, this can be used if you need a like long line of things and you want them all in sync, but it's more than like 15 blocks, so they're very useful in complex farms and stuff. They're quite easy to build, and I'll show you how to build them now. Okay, so to build an instant repeater, all you need are sticky pistons, some blocks, and a redstone block. So you come along, you need to place your sticky piston up here, a redstone block on its face, and then put a another sticky piston down there so it gets bud powered. Now you put a block here under your first sticky piston, and your input is gonna be like into this block, and then your output is like you can put redstone dust or a repeater on top of this block or whatever you want to do to take an output through there, and then your input's here obviously, so you see turns on, turns off. So that's also quite simple, although I had to find out about it in quite a recent, find out how to build it in quite a recent video. It was designing episode 4. So this last weird looking thing is the redstone brain. So I have a sum for it right here. What is 1 plus 1? Do you want to throw that, you throw it in its mouth? Because isn't that how you do it? Oh god. Throw it in its mouth. There we go. So it's really clever. Whoa. Looks like its mind was blown quite easily. I thought it was a bit smarter than that, but okay. Yeah, that was the last very intelligent thing. It's really smart. It took me a while to design. It's basically a computer in Minecraft. A brain, like, although like in some ways even smarter than a computer. So I think that was probably the best of all of them, even though it kind of destroyed the rest, but since it was better than all the others, it didn't really matter. So for this last weird redstone brain thing that I've chosen to do, all you'll need is a load of TNT. You can put less in if you want, but like for more of a bigger explosion. Black concrete I just used for the eyes. You could use like black wool or whatever. I used brown wool for the hair. You'll need a hopper. You'll need a comparator. You'll need a repeater. And then I used pink terracotta for like the lips and red carpet to hide the like hopper, and white terracotta for skin because that's probably the best skin tone block in the whole game of Minecraft. So I made mine a like 5x5 on the outside and therefore 3x3 on the inside, which is quite small. Now all you need to do is put a hopper here, put your carpet on top if you want to hide it, which I would hide it if I were you. So that's the face, and then all the other sides I just did plain. I will now put the hair on. I think brown wool is a good hair thing. The actual redstone, all you need is a comparator, and then I put in a repeater to add a bit more delay. And then basically I just fill this with like TNT, and then it's ready. Whenever an item goes in there, it will power the comparator, which powers the repeater, powering every single bit of TNT and blowing it all up. So I think that's where we're going to have to end today's video. Like, subscribe, hit that bell to get notified. Bye! Wrong way. Oh, okay, there we go.